Ron Magill has performed at the height of entertainment. Sábado Gigante, the Letterman Show. He's been on all the morning shows, and now he comes in here to the bottom rung of the show business ladder, where Greg Cote has his hand in mayonnaise, but together they have partnered to create a best-selling book that's not quite available yet, but you can pre-order it, and we'll get to that in a second. But Ron Magill is in studio with us. Stugotz has fled the premises because he doesn't trust Ron Magill. He's run out of the room. Why, Ron Magill?
I bought in a box, and he thinks I got an animal in that box.
There's a snake in that box, Dan, I'm telling you.
There's no snake in the box.
There was last time.
There was last time, but you got to change.
What have you scared him with? There have been crickets. He has run out of the studio.
The hissing roaches. I remember that where he went and destroyed equipment. He went under the table, and it was really bad news. He wasn't good about that.
There was a bird of some sort one time, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, it was a little owl we brought to the studio. The owl, the big owl, he was flapping the studio. But it was the hissing roaches in the small studio where he damaged equipment and he was crying. He had tears in his eyes. So that's when I realized, this was beyond the show, and I had to stop because I was worried about it.
Because you throw insects at me like they're confetti.
I was just showing them to you, but you had nowhere to
No.
go. And you went to the table.
And the owl was a hoot.
You did throw crickets.
I did throw crickets.
There were crickets thrown at you, not the hissing roaches, but you did have crickets.
No, you know what I think happened is I had them in my hand and they jumped on him. They jumped off of my hand and they jumped.
Yeah, cricket will do that.
They jumped, and he can handle that very well. And then when I saw him really crying, and then I said, "Well, this is serious. Now I don't want to get sued."
Where does it rank in terms of people? You've gotten unusual reactions in your life to bringing animals around. Is Stugotz like top of the list in terms of fear, or there are others you've had that are worse?
There's this one young lady who screamed and fainted. I mean, actually fainted. She just passed out. And I felt really bad about that, too. So I have to be very careful when I do these things now because, I don't...
You're an ambassador for the animals.
Yeah,
you don't want to be spreading fear?
Absolutely. So I really don't do that anymore. And I apologize to Stugotz. I sincerely apologize to him because I felt terrible. I mean, he was crying. This was not fake. Sometimes you do shtick for the show, but the guy was genuinely really upset.
Ron, have you been following this owl in the Lower East Side in Manhattan named Flacco?
Flacco, yes.
Is he looking for a mate or not?
Probably looking for a mate. Probably looking for a mate. Hey, listen, let me explain something.
Going to all my old haunts when I was looking for a mate in the Lower East Side, too.
Every animal is always, once they become sexually mature, they're always looking for a mate. It's the single most powerful biological drive there is.
Let me show Ron Magill a video here of a lion, an escaped lion. I don't know the backstory here except that it's a circus and we're outside in Rome. You tell me how common this is, how weird it is, how dangerous it is to just have a lion roaming the streets at night, and at some point it's going to get hungry.
Well, I will tell you, this is the first time I've ever seen it, so it's not common. This is an adult male lion. He's at least 4 or 5 years old because he's got a pretty full mane on him there.
He looks confused.
He looks confused, but he also doesn't look like he's a wild lion. I'm assuming that this lion is probably some kind of long-term captive, a circus lion, something like that.
It is. It's a circus lion.
There you go. So he's kind of like...
Look at you. You could just tell just by looking at him.
But he's looking for something of familiarity. He's not panicked. He's not upset about anything. He's obviously used to being around people. So he doesn't present as much of a danger as another lion would.
Have you ever gotten that wrong, or is anyone? When I was in Africa and we were close to a lion that had just eaten, it didn't feel safe to me. It didn't feel like my guide knew so much that I wasn't in any peril. But you can largely tell whether or not a lion is interested in bothering you or not.
Yes, yeah. There are certain things that lions do. You see the tip of the tail twitch. You see the positioning of their ears. You see the look in their eyes, the wrinkle in their face. There's a focus that lions have when they're focused on either
when they're hungry. Dan has a similar look.
It's not hungry. I wouldn't worry about him going after you to eat you. I'd worry about him just thinking it's a competition. It's a territorial thing, and he's going to establish his dominance. And you see that in any cat.
So in that video, we see a lion on a city street. Mm-hmm. If there's a pedestrian on the other side of the street, how aggressive is that lion likely to be? Will he probably attack that person or avoid him?
I don't know how to predict that. I would tell you that I doubt that he would attack that person. Most likely he'd probably avoid him or just look at him, because being a circus lion, I mean, think of where that lion's been. He's been surrounded by people screaming and cheering, and he's numb to that now. So that's like just another tree in the parking lot. Mm.
You are against circuses, correct?
I'm against circuses with animals. I love circuses like a Cirque du Soleil, stuff like that, but I'm against having animals in circuses.
There is no circumstance under which you would be pro-circus, correct?
I would be pro-circus with an animal if it was like domestic dogs, that type of thing where you're working with domestic animals that obviously want to have that human interaction, but I would never, ever support any kind of exotic animals.
What are the animals that do like discipline, that like human discipline other than dogs?
Well, I don't know if I'd say human discipline. I think human connection, the human interaction.
No, but what I mean is you can train them at least in part because they're so eager to please that they don't take discipline as anything other than something that is loving, I'm left to assume.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to define discipline. I mean, there's a line between discipline and abuse. But having said that, if you're training an animal.
Abuse. I'm just talking about like training an animal.
Well, some idiot might say, when I smack my dog across the face, I'm just disciplining him. No, that's an abuse. So I want to make that very, very clear.
But dogs like to be obedient, do they not?
Dogs like to please their hey, what does that mean?
I said it in the wrong person's ear.
That is Greg Cote. Greg Cote disciplines his animal
Right.
with Bay, and we've got an executive producer speaking into the wrong.
Yeah, Jumpin' Charlie, when he's misbehaving, like when he's jumping on my wife and everything, and she doesn't like that, all I have to do is go, Bay.
Oh,
and he hears that sound.
That's what I wanted.
And he knows that that's me saying, you're not doing something right now. Quit that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And animals can pick that up either in a vocalization or even in a look, even in a posture. The animal can pick it up.
Yeah.
Ron, one of the things that people who are, I hear this a lot with like the horses in Central Park that drive, the carriage horses, like, oh, they like having a job to do. Is that a misconception?
On good conditions and a 50, 60 degree day, it's fine. Putting those horses out in the heat of the summer of New York, putting them out in the cold and the freezing weather and the snow of New York, I'm sorry, that's not okay. A horse can be domesticated to pull a carriage in good, comfortable situations, but when you're making a horse do things in extreme weather conditions and extreme situations, heat, no, I'm sorry, I can't support that.
Jeremy,
do they like having a little job to do?
No,
in good conditions, or they're like, ooh, I get to go to work?
No. I think horses like interaction, but the job of pulling a cart the same place every day, I don't think they look forward to that.
They like their off days just as much as their working days.
Yes, I think if you gave the horse the choice, it would rather stay in the barn or in the pasture.
I've got them watching Red Zone on Sundays.
They're also not being compensated fairly. I think they should unionize.
Hey, Ronnie, I'm dressed as a raider today and wondering if
raider?
any waiter today and wondering if any animals would make a good waiter.
So bad.
What animal would
I'm
make the best
sorry.
waiter?
I'm sorry. I also have another question if you'd prefer.
Fact, no, I didn't.
That was
want
a good question,
Get
Dan.
out of here.
Yeah.
It was
Where'd
not
that
you.
come from?
Go sit in the penalty box,
Yeah, it's
waiter.
fair.
I don't like that character.
What if we need him, though?
It's why would we need him?
He's a waiter.
Yes. No, thank you.
Do you need anything, Ron, while he's here? A drink, anything? You good?
No, I'm good.
You good?
Let's play the beetle video, please. Of this beetle, I don't know. It's a bomb. Do you know the bombardier beetle? Do you know anything about it? How it defends itself, Ron?
I'm not sure. No, I don't.
Okay.
That's okay. Yes.
That is boiling hot acid from its ass.
Jesus.
From
Acid.
from the abdomen. Yes.
The tongue twister.
That is not from the abdomen. That is from the ass.
Good for this guy.
Ass it.
Whoa! It's
smokes.
smoking.
It smokes,
It's smoking. That's
smoking.
boiling. That's boiling acid.
That's me on a Sunday watching the Red Zone. I mean,
Oh, Sunday. You scared me for a second.
No, that you are not taking bong hits up your ass. Like, what are you talking
You
about?
never know. Don't knock it till you tried it.
What is that, Ron? What is happening right there? That's boiling acid.
It's an acidic, it's an acid that the animal expels, kind of like as a very effective deterrent. Obviously, other animals do things similar. Snakes, they do a thing called musking, where they send out a musk that is an awful smelling stuff. You can't, no matter how much you wash your hands, you can't get it off. So it's like a skunk using the same thing. So animals have different defense mechanisms. That's one for that beetle.
What is the strangest thing that an animal will shoot out at somebody?
Horned lizards will shoot blood out of their eyes.
That
Blood
wins.
will shoot out of their eyes.
What?
And that will freak you out. Yeah, I'm telling you. Look it up. Go ahead, Stugotz. I know you don't believe me. Look it up. Horned lizards will shoot blood out of their eyes. And you go, oh, God.
Is that what's in the box?
That's not what's in the
Good
box.
segue. Should we bring Stugotz in? You brought a box in with you.
No.
Let's bring the box
Come on,
up now.
Come on, Stugotz.
Stugotz,
No.
open the box.
No.
Come on, Stugotz.
What's in the box?
Just come in here, Stugotz. Open the box.
I'm not coming in there, Dan.
It's heavy.
It's not a snake.
It looks like
Oh, you know what it is?
It's like an office supplies
You know what
box.
it is?
What?
It's the pride of a lion.
It's the pride of a lion.
Wow, it's just a book. I mean, books don't bite. I mean,
They misspelled my name.
Greg, turn it so the cameras can see it.
Oh,
Stugotz is also afraid of books.
yes.
It's thinner than I thought it would be.
The pride of a lion, what the animal kingdom can teach us about survival, fear, and family. It comes out December 5th. Tell the people how to pre-order it. Tell
Yes.
the people, Ron, where it is that they could get this and this project, what it means to you and Greg Cote. You're already, because of our listeners, on many bestseller lists because they like this project.
This is huge. I'm telling you, it was a pleasure working with Greg. I'm not going to be the Mutual Admiration Society here, but the good thing about this, it's got some really great photographs too. Look at that. That's Quasi. That's Quasi. You
Those
see
are
him on the
your
cover.
pictures.
And these are my pictures. This is Quasi now. On the cover is Quasi when he was a little cub. This tells the story of Quasi growing up and all the challenges. Look at his uncles.
picture book?
His uncle. Well, there's some great photographs in here that I took. I mean, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but these are really great photographs.
They really
and
are.
I mean, this is the uncles fighting. They're fighting to have have the sex with the mom. So it's really kind of really cool. I mean, there's a whole series in there, but it's fantastic.
The uncle is?
Well, the uncles. This is almost like Lion King, man. You know, with Scar and Mufasa. Just Mufasa. It really gets kind of cool. Oh, sorry about that. I'm sorry. Should I take it down? I'm sorry.
And we have a special offer for today.
Yes,
This 24
yes.
hours.
The next 24, 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. to tomorrow. If you order this book on Amazon.com, you get a portion of the proceeds are going to go to the Ron Magill Substantial Conservation Endowment. A substantial one.
If you haven't already purchased it, the next 24 hours, extra will go to
What
Ron's
does that mean?
endowment.
Give me a bigger percentage than that. What is extra? It's just a random extra? I can't get any specifics on that?
Percentage will go. I don't know.
I don't know what the percent, but listen, say it's something, baby. It's something.
Executive
and it's
produced
It's a good
information.
10%.
And if
10%.
not, and if you order it a day later, it all goes to Ron Magill.
What do I want from you?
no.
Your job.
No, this is really, and it's an easy read, guys. You know, Cote writes so well. I'm so glad that he kind of just listened to what I said and put it into words that people could read, because I could never have done that. And I think it's a great story. Talk to me, Greg. Do something. I'm doing all the talking here.
It's
Welcome to my
There's
Tuesday.
two essential people. There's two essential people in this book.
You're one of them.
Ron Magill and Quasi.
Quasi's not a
Okay,
person.
It's not a person. You're
He's
the
a human
author.
being. He's
you
a
mean
being.
characters?
He's not a human being, but a being. The animal Quasi.
You're reporting in this
and
book
the
that the
human
lion
Ron
is a
Magill.
human being.
Buy the book, everyone.
That's right. That's what we're reporting.
Expert and author Greg Cote. He thinks lions are human beings. The book is out
You
now.
know
The
what?
Pride of a Lion. It's not out now, but you can get it right now by
And
pre-order.
if you order it today, between 10 and 10, money to the Ron Magill
That's
Conservation
correct.
Endowment.
Yeah, do that now. Order in the next 24 hours. Pre-order. Kawasi, part of the sub-theme of this book is that the more we understand animals, the more they seem to have anthropomorphic. What's that word?
That's it.
Anthropomorphic.
You got
That's
it.
it. You got
Yes.
it.
And so when you read this book, you will have an understanding of Quasi and other lions that maybe you didn't have beforehand.
And I think you'll have a better understanding of yourself, too. I
Really?
really do.
That's
How?
a big promise. That's a big promise.
I
Ron.
think you will. I think you will. This animal went through some incredible challenges, incredible struggles, and met and exceeded all expectations.
I am not promising the people that you will know yourself better out after reading this
I
book.
am.
There you go.
But there you go.
I concur.
Okay. The Pride of a Lion. He thinks lions are human beings. Again, the author of the
They
book.
might as well be.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Quasi is better than a lot of human beings I know, I'll tell you that. Believe me.
Name names.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, but, they're out there.
The people who make him stick his hand in a jar of mayonnaise for
I'm
hours.
telling you.
Dave Hyde.
The stink in here is horrible.
That is so disgusting.
Charles Bricker.
Lord.
Tony was let down by a friend this weekend. We'll get to that in a second. And Chris Cote is arguing with anybody around here about what he believes to be the most frustrating penalty in football. We'll get to that in a second. But the first thing I want to show you and the audience, Stugotz, I wasn't sure this was real or if it was the internet fooling me. I don't know why Jared Leto would be climbing the Empire State Building. I am always horrified, basically, by any video, and I can't stop watching them as well. Great height videos, being flippant with your life in the sky videos. jumping from great heights. All of these videos will suck me in every time. All of them are horrifying to me because I'm in an algorithm. I'm stuck in an algorithm where I'm sent video all the time. Would you do this job for $50 an hour? And it's somebody on the side of a building doing an incredibly complex job that a wind gust comes in, and I'm scared for that person. But why is Jared Leto risking his life? Is it part of a movie promotion?
It can't be for publicity. This has to just be a hobby.
He's dressed as Santa.
I got to tell you, it looks like it's dangerous. It's not something I would do, but it looks really cool. Like it's a cool video to send out.
I know, but it's cool at least in part because it's horrifying. And there's drone footage here that you can see that it is magnificent in scope, and Jared Leto looks very small and very high at the top of one of the tallest buildings in New York.
His skincare routine is unmatched, too, because that is a very old individual. For celebrity, you're not allowed to really get to that age and remain relevant, but he's a bit of a showman. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos from his band 30 Seconds to Mars. They've played a couple of festivals, and what he does is he gets to the very top of the structure on these main stages, which is very high up,
right,
and he kind of bungees down.
Yeah.
Very theatrical. If you've ever seen them in concert, it's always more style than substance. You end up singing more of the lyrics than Jared Leto. I'm not hating. I'm just saying in effect, but it reminds me of another video that I saw because I was on a Jared Leto algorithm myself. And from several years ago when he was doing that thing where other people sing for him, he was demanding in a very pompous way that everybody get out of their seats. If you don't get out of your seats, we're never coming back. I'll get out of here right now. Everybody, you over there, you're sitting down. Get the bleep up out of your, yeah, you. I'm looking right at you. Stop being selfish. Get up. It was a kid in a wheelchair.
Oh boy.
Apparently, he did this to announce that his band is going on a world tour.
Ah, nice. How about you do it without the rope, though? I mean, you're going to scale a building, scale a building. How's that
I'm
sound?
with you on that.
Thank you.
I mean, geez.
If you want to make news, the rope kind of takes away from
How about send out a fax? What happened to a fax?
Ah, facts.
tour dates.
How much of that video do we have? Did he start at the bottom or did he start on like the 144th floor?
I read that he's the first person to do this, which I was surprised to hear.
I'm surprised he was allowed. I also want.
I mean, it's Jared Leto.
I also
You
want.
gotta let Jared Leto do it.
You gotta let him. Let's examine for a second what I said because I got caught up in the air. I'm assuming that the Empire State Building is not the tallest necessarily building in New York. Where does this building rank in terms of tallest structures in the world?
Empire State Building is 54th in the world right now as far as height. It's not even the tallest in New York, obviously. One World Trade Center is the 7th tallest in the world.
Victor Wembanyama's 6th.
Where's the L, sir?
I don't know why
683.
Billy did that. I'm not sure how that's useful or helpful.
Just asking a question.
Yeah, but it's useless, I would say,
Just
generally
for frame of
speaking.
reference.
It'd be funny if we could tout that we're number 7,574
Good number.
in the world's tallest buildings here at the L, sir.
Tony, what happened?
Control F that one, Tony.
What happened with your friend?
Dan, so, look, everybody's got that friend that you're super appreciative for. You love him for him. He's a big fan of the show. I told him, hey, I'm going up for the weekend for UFC. He's like, come stay over at my house in Brooklyn. I'm like, excellent. UFC gets out late. It was about 1 o'clock, 1:30. I start calling him up. Hey, I'm going to be coming home around like 1:30, 2 o'clock. Let me know. Leave me a key. Do something. He's all right. I left you a key somewhere you can find it, and I'll be up, so I'll leave the door unlocked. Just walk in. I'm like, all right, cool. I finally get into the Uber. I get to to his apartment. The key is exactly where he left it on like a little side thing. I open the door. I walk up. I'm like, perfect. Good timing. I have an early flight. I'm first flight out. Stu always taught me first flight out. Yep. Never miss it. So the problem is it's 3:40. It's 1:40 in the morning, and I've got to get to the hotel to the airport by 5:30. Okay. So I got like a 4-hour window of get in, pack, sleep, get out. Right?
No traffic. It'll be clean. It'll be easy. You'll get to the airport in 20 minutes.
Exactly. So I get up the stairs, getting ready. I have all my stuff with me. I have one key, but he told me I've got 2 keys, one for the front and one for the door. So I'm like, all right, perfect. There's only one key.
No.
Here's a problem.
No.
Very thin walls at the apartment, right? So you can hear. If I can paint the picture of the hallway for you, very narrow hallway. So His apartment door is here, and within 3 feet where I can touch, there's another apartment door. I go to open the door, the key doesn't work. I hear Paul Blart Mall Cop playing on the other side of the door.
One or two?
One, I think. So I hear it playing, and he's like, look, I'm going to leave my phone on loud just in case I fall asleep, that I'll be able to hear the phone. After the 4th or 5th missed call where I hear the phone on the other side of the door, and I can't open the door, and I'm banging on the door, I'm like, dude, this guy fell asleep or he died. I don't know which one it is. Wow. The 10th call, he's still not up. 35 minutes. I'm waiting in front of this door. And remember, the apartment's right here. Is behind me is another apartment. So I'm banging on the door.
This is a funny part of New York, right? You have spent how much time in buildings like this where the hallways, you can reach both sides of the hallways because everything is on top of each other in a very tight space.
Literally 3 feet were the difference. I don't even know if you open doors at the same time, you'd be able to open each one. Like they were like half, you'd have to like squeeze out of it, right?
You're basically walking down the hallway sideways.
Sideways. And I am banging on this door, but Paul Blart is playing at such a high level that he doesn't hear the door, like me banging on the door.
Classic Paul Blart.
The dog next to me in the other apartment is screaming his head off because he thinks I'm knocking on his door.
And it's 3 a.m.
After the 15th missed call, Paul Blart finally stops playing, right? And I'm like, oh, I think this is my chance. There was a chance, boys, that I was going to hold the other door and give like a donkey kick, like to the back of the door where donkey kick's like, what?
You wouldn't have done it.
What do you mean?
At this point,
if you wanted to do it, you would have done it.
He would have done it, but there's no way it works. I don't think.
A donkey kick to the door?
You're trying to kick the door in, is what you're saying.
It was a flimsy door.
Okay.
The problem is I couldn't break through the bolt top.
So wait a minute. So you were thinking not of knocking on the door so loudly with a donkey kick that you wake him up. You were thinking of breaking the doorknob and breaking down his
through the door. Yeah, breaking through the door with a donkey kick. He might be dead in there, Dan. Kevin might be dead. I don't know where Kevin is at this point.
He's a little worried. Well, did you get an answer to your mystery?
So here's the thing.
He died.
He was murdered.
We'd like to help Kevin and his family.
So
Tony's on
rest
the
in
case.
power.
That's the other problem, right? It was cold in New York. It's in the 40s. I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing dark clothing. So if there's a camera in this building,
shot you in that incredibly thin hallway.
Kevin loved Ron McGill's Wildlife Conservation Fund.
So after the 15th missed call, Paul Blart goes off. Finally, I hit the door with an elbow, a couple of these. Boom, boom. He wakes up.
Kevin's family's asking that you contribute to Destiny Harden's NIL. Please.
Love the Canes.
He unlocks the door, looks at me and goes, "It was open the whole time."
Oh no!
I go, "Kevin, you just unlocked the door. What do you mean the door was open the whole time? You just unlocked it." He's like, "My bad. I was asleep, dude." 45 minutes I was out there standing where the dog was going crazy. I think the landlord, the stupor, was going to come and like hit me with a wrench. It was terrible.
How was the lighting in there? Did you consider just laying down in front of the door?
No,
Get a little
filthy floor.
shut-eye.
The
Get a
floor
little
was
shut-eye.
filthy. No, I didn't like the floor. Filthy floor.
It does.
Why was it 3 a.m? I thought you took the first flight out.
Well, he was getting home.
Well, UFC ends at 1:30. By the time I get there,
Brooklyn. That's tough.
30 minutes, and then,
Tony's living a younger life than you are at this point.
Almost let me down,
Billy.
Dano. Kevin almost let me down.
Billy, you don't know. You remember this time in your life, perhaps, but Tony is living now. You are a father.
I don't think
2.
Billy ever had any time like this in his life.
I wake up at 3:30 in the morning.
Well, now.
In a panic.
That's right.
It's a parrot.
My bed broke.
Did it?
Hell yeah.
Last night, it just in the middle of the night just fell. Then I had to get up. I had to try to fix the situation. And I'm there. I'm trying to like go and knock on the thing with a hammer while not waking people up. It was one of those like central support beams down the middle of the bed that just kind of slid. And then when I took it apart, because I have like those like slots, those wooden slots, and I'm trying to get my legs in between to try to get to that little support beam, I take it out and I see that the metal is like completely bent. So then I try to quietly hammer, which isn't a thing that happens in the middle of the night. So I put it back together. I ended up just putting a yoga mat so it wouldn't slide again. And I thought, this is a tomorrow problem that I'm going to have to deal with.
So that's what Billy was doing when Tony was panicking
well,
in New York.
so I go and we have a conversation with my wife, and we're just like, just sleep.
If I may,
on the sides.
if I may, real quick, just what time is this happening? And this is startling you both awake, correct? Because the bed, you are both dead asleep, and now the bed has fallen. It
didn't completely collapse, but like you felt a leg in the middle broke, and there was like a bump down.
You both were you were awoken with a start in the middle of the night. Both of you dead asleep by your bed falling apart.
Yes. Well, partially collapsing. And I honestly tried to pretend that I didn't feel it and waited until my wife said, "Did you feel that?" And I was like, "Yes."
That's a move.
Yes. So I got
Now
up
you
and
have to
I
fix it.
Exactly right. I pretended to not feel it.
Were you
all a
hoping? Wait a minute,
dream.
were you
I was
hoping she
hoping
would
to-
fix it?
No, I was hoping she'd sleep
go back to
through it.
bed.
Exactly right. And I wouldn't have to deal with it.
I do that with my daughters. Like when my daughter used to like cry in the middle of the night, my wife would be like, "Do you hear that?" I'll like, "What? What?"
Yeah. I pretended like I didn't.
in the middle of a crazy dream. Huh? I thought I heard yelling.
How long has your daughter cried where you haven't said a word?
You're fake sleepers.
And then my wife gets up and I'm like, "Honey, I'll go." Honey, you want me to go?
While she's outside of the door already. She's already like a foot into her room. Like, "Ah, I got
How
it, I
long?
got it."
How long does that go
Honey,
on?
I got this. As she's walking up the stairs.
Already holding the baby.
You monster.
Yeah.
You're both fake sleepers.
Well, it happened the second time. After I fixed it, you'd be shocked to find out I didn't actually fix it. And it happened the second time. I said, "Hey." It was pitch black. She's like, "Do you think the bed's going to completely collapse?" I go, "I don't think so. Just stay on your side. I'll stay on my side, and then we'll figure this out in the morning." Then she told me it collapsed again in the middle of the night, a different part. So I have to go home and figure that out today.
My wife's like, "She's shouting daddy. How do you not hear her?"
Chris Cote, you are not only a fake sleeper.
sleeping.
Wait a
What?
minute. No,
What?
wait, I want to. You're a fake sleeper.
That was abrupt when you're faking, getting woken up. Huh? What?
You got to sell it. Yeah.
You got to pretend you're scared, too.
I just want to be clear.
What happened?
You're a fake sleeper. You're a fake waker-upper, and then you are a fake asker of, "Do you need my help?" And then
Nailed it.
and you're a fake asker of, "I'm trying to generally be helpful."
That's right.